Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. So one of the problems with SEO is that it just seems confusing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Partly, I think the SEO industry is to blame for this.
For making everything confusing.
Yes.
And saying one thing and doing the other and having someone say, I have the solution.
Yeah, just making it sound confusing so that people think, oh, I can never do that on my own. I'm going to need somebody to hire and they need to do it for me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not confusing. It's actually inside the industry. It's like common sense.
Really?
Yes, it is. It really is. And all you need to do in order to make it seem like common sense is just take a different perspective.
Okay.
Okay. And that's one of the things, that's like the main thing I teach.
Okay.
In doing that. So I have something on my site called the IQ Builder.
Yes.
And it helps you develop this common sense approach.
Okay.
So to do that, you need, like I said, you need to change your perspective. You need to think about things a little bit differently than all these rules and everything.
Yeah.
First, a lot of them you don't really need to think about. Okay. You just need to think in terms of what does Google want. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
We're going to talk about what does Google want, and that is the new perspective. So first, what does Google not want? So these are, I would say, some myths. Okay. So number one, a technically perfect website.
Huh.
So people always...
What would that mean? What would that mean?
Yeah. So people, clients and people who use SEMrush, they go to SEMrush and you get a score from SEMrush, right? And it's from 1 to 100. Yeah. Now, it doesn't need to be 100. It doesn't need to be 99. You just need to have an A. It just needs to be good enough.
Right.
And that's a 92 or better. Statistically, if you have a SEMrush score of 92 or better, you'll be in the top 10% of websites. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Like Google, think about if you were Google, would you want, your goal is to have your people coming to your site, you want them to come back over and over and over. Okay, that's how you make money.
Yes.
So would you prefer to send people to websites that are technically perfect or that are, just good enough, they're pretty good, but are really useful and helpful to people?
Helpful.
Yeah, exactly. The technically perfect aspect, that you don't need to do that. It just needs to be good enough. Okay.
Right.
Another myth is like you got to put your keywords in secret places. Right. If you put your keywords here, you're going to jump to the top of Google. Okay.
Yeah. So, if you put there's certain places you need to put certain keywords.
Right. And that's kind of true. But first we need to dispel this myth of like there's secret places.
Oh,
now,
secret.
Again, if you are Google, would you want to reward websites?
Right.
Again, remember, your goal is to get people coming back to you, Google, over and over. So would you want to send people to websites that either have their keywords, they've figured out these secret places, or they've put their keywords in places that make their websites really easy to use and quick to navigate?
Yeah, easy
Which
to
one?
use, quick to navigate.
Yeah, exactly.
Latter.
So there's no secret places you can stuff keywords. That's old news.
And why are people thinking there are?
Because that used to be true.
Okay.
That used to be true. 10 years ago, that was very true. Like, I'm guilty of this. Like pre-2010, we were stuffing text. We would take white text and put it on a white background so that nobody could see it. But Google would see it, so all the keywords would be there. We have found hundreds and hundreds of ways to do that. Okay. We used to do that. In 2012, I stopped taking that approach because even if you are successful in doing those sorts of things, it's going to be short-lived success.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started adopting what I now call SEIQ, this approach. Take Google's perspective. You're going to have long-term success rather than those short-term gains. Yes. Okay. So that's number two. No secret. There are no secrets, period. No secret places you can stuff your keywords. Number three, any sort of trickery. If you're trying to trick Google, if you're doing anything, and the reason you are doing it is to get high rankings, that itself is not something Google wants to reward.
Right.
Okay. Again, if you're Google, do you want to send your visitors, your customers, to websites that have figured out a way to trick you?
No.
Or would you rather send them to a site, again, that's useful and helpful?
I'm going to yet again choose the useful and helpful.
And there's a huge umbrella, and we'll talk more about this, but any sort of trickery.
Yeah.
Okay, so that covers kind of broadly what Google does not want. So what does Google want?
Yes.
Okay, So we've talked about this before. They want to send their customers to websites that they can trust, that have authority, that have expertise on a particular topic. That's the EAT that we've talked about.
Right. Yum, yum.
They also, their highest level objective, and they say that they've said this, their goal as a company is to get people to websites where they get information as quickly and easily as possible. Wow. That's it. That's their total goal. And if they do that, people are going to keep going back to Google, right?
Right.
If you get what you need quickly and easily, that's a success for you. You're going to go back and you're going to do that again.
Correct.
Okay. That's pretty much all you need to make SEO common sense, is just that knowledge.
Okay.
All right.
I can have that knowledge.
Yeah, that's really all you need. So this is why I built the IQ Builder.
Yeah.
This started off months, probably maybe even years ago. I just created a glossary because there's lots of jargon in SEO.
Right.
One of the reasons it's confusing. So I tried to do a glossary that tried to make it more common sense. Tried to break it down, get out of the jargon, tell you in plain terms what all these things are, because there's lots of SEO glossaries out there. Most of the ones I've seen, even the explanation of the thing they're defining is very confusing. So,
right. They kind of make it like a secret club, like kind of a cult.
There is a kind of secret language. And I mean, there is a reason for that. It's because a lot of things are very specific. And when you think about the people who were in the early days creating websites and doing all this stuff, they were coders. And so they wanted very specific names for things so that when they were talking to each other and giving each other instructions, they would know exactly what they were talking about.
Fair enough.
That's why there's all these jargony sounding terms.
Okay.
But they all have very simple meanings. And so my glossary morphed into this IQ Builder because it takes the perspective of Google. Like, if you're Google, why is this important to you? Like we just talked about.
That makes sense.
We just talked about, like, you don't need a technically perfect website. There's no secret places you can put your keywords.
Right, right.
If you are Google, this is important because, and then it just starts to make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to take a couple of the most basic ones, and I'm going to just individual entries that are in my IQ Builder.
Okay.
And I'm going to share them with you as an example.
Next
week, we are going to go a little bit deeper into like things that are a little more tricky.
Okay.
And then the week after, we're going to do something similar about AI, how AI has changed this and how some of those things are now more important. Some are a little less important. But really, so far, there isn't any new, like drastically new stuff.
So interesting. And where is the IQ thing? You
can go to meredithhusband.com and click Discover SEIQ if you want to check it out. Okay, so first, title tags.
Yes.
Title tag, I've heard many times people think that title tags are something that you do for SEO. They're not for users. Because if a user goes to a website, you can't see the title tag. It's nowhere there. It's nowhere on the page.
It's after the fold?
No, it's nowhere. It is literally nowhere. We're talking about your title tag, not your heading. Your title tag is short line of text.
Yeah.
That displays in Google when people do a search. So when you do a search as a user, those blue lines of text are the title tag. That exact text does not display anywhere on the website. So people think, well, it's something you just do for SEO, you don't do for users. Now, that's the exact wrong frame of mind to be in.
Right.
It is absolutely critically important for users. That's why it's important for SEO. Now, why is it important for users? Let's say, as an example, you're searching Google, you're looking for something. You do a search, you click enter, you see. How do you decide which website to go to?
Based on what is presented to you.
Yeah, those title tags.
In those little okay.
So if your title tag does not appeal to people for whatever they just searched for, they're never going to click it.
This is true. Yeah.
So saying it's not for users is, wow, that's problematic. Now, for that reason, you want to put your keyword, like whatever key phrase or is most important, you want it to be there because you want to let people know what that page is going to be about.
Right.
Okay. So that's why title tags, super important to Google because they're super important to users, super important for SEO. They're probably your single most important element in SEO.
Okay.
A related one, headings.
Yes.
When you get to a page, the heading, we call this the H1 tag. It's going to be the biggest heading at the top of the page.
Yes.
The subheadings are hopefully going to be H2 and H3 tags.
Yes.
They're going to be probably a little bit smaller text. maybe a different color, but smaller text somewhere in the copy of the page. There's also H4, 5, and 6 tags, but those are usually reserved for places like the footer or side navigation, where there's like a little subheading in the side navigation. So the ones you want to, what we're going to be talking about here are the H1, the heading, the H2, and the H3 subheadings. Yes. So this one is probably more, I hope, more obvious why it's important for users and not for Google.
Okay.
Right. As a user, you get to a page. What are you going to look at first? Let's say a page opens up and you got, a big bold line of text and some paragraph copy. You got an image, you got a couple subheadings, and you got a button. And let's say you can see it all at once.
Yeah.
Right away, you're probably going to look at the image first.
Right.
I think that's pretty well established when people do eye tracking
case studies.
And heat maps. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but a heat map is like, it's an image of a page, and it's like red where people will look the most, and then it's probably orange and places where people will look, and then it's green. So heat maps try to do eye tracking. So where do people look first? And when you see one of these, they're going to be the images. People almost always look at images first.
Right,
as a photographer, you probably know this. Then headings, subheadings, call to action.
Right. Paragraph
copy, the absolute last thing that people look at.
Yeah. Too much work.
So knowing this, this is another place you would want to put your keywords, because remember Google's overriding objective. We want to get people the information they want as quickly and easily as possible.
Correct.
So you need to be very plain in what you put in your headings and subheadings. People are going to look there. You need to get them the information very quickly.
Right.
You don't want to be, and I've been guilty of this myself. This is one area where people kind of shoot themselves in the foot, and they try to be cute. They try to do something funny. And imagine if you do that with your website, a single page, and somebody lands on that page and they just look at the headings and subheadings, and you're not clear about the purpose of that page, that person is not getting the information they want as easily and quickly as possible, are they? They're having to. No. Right. Okay. We
don't want it to be confusing. We want it to be clear.
That's why Google places high importance on those things. It's not some secret trick. When people say you need to have your H1s,
right?
Like that sounds confusing. Like, I need, like it's some secret SEO thing. I need to do my H1s. Well, no, that's what that means. You need to help people get information as quickly and easily as possible.
Right.
Okay. Those are two of, I think, the most important elements in SEO. So next week, we are going to go a little bit deeper.
Ooh.
We're going to uncover some of the ones that I think are a little more confusing or convoluted or unknown.
Yes. Controversial.
Yes. So if you know anyone who would benefit from this, who is thinking along these lines, who thinks that SEO is confusing, share this episode with them.
For sure.
Just this one single episode. It will change their lives forever.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.